Howdy folks, and welcome back to Armoured Warfare with a mighty Jingles. And those Armoured Warfare PvP replays have been flooding in since Obsidian turned the replay system on. I've got two of them for you today, both PvP and both in armoured fighting vehicles. The first is Steel Titan 2, and he is in the Weasel AWC, the German Tier 7 armoured fighting vehicle. It's a tracked vehicle, so it's a hell of a lot easier to steer than a wheeled armoured fighting vehicle like the French VBL at Tier 6 or the American Crab at Tier 9. He's in a Tier 7 match here on Ghostfield, and Ghostfield is the oldest surviving map in Armoured Warfare. It was one of only two maps that were available during the first limited technical alpha test of Armoured Warfare, and it's the only map that still survives into the game in its current version. It's quite a small map, so the fighting tends to be quite fast and furious here on Ghostfield, particularly when there is artillery in play, although there is no artillery in play in this match. And the reason for that is because the main battle tanks tend to try to get themselves into the corners of the map and go hull down, and just exchange shots with other main battle tanks at the far end of the road. There are some good positions for going hull down. With artillery in play, they are not good positions for going hull down. You just get hit by artillery over and over and over. And that really does discourage the camping that you tend to see from the main battle tanks in the early phases of this battle. But neither of the teams in this match have any artillery, so while you would never really describe Ghostfield as a campy map, the potential does exist for some early game camping by the main battle tanks, at least as far as these two team lineups go. With no artillery to shift the main battle tanks out of their hold down positions, what you tend to find is that the main battle tanks on both teams kind of pin each other into place, and the main thrust of the fighting actually happens in the middle of the map, as the smaller, lighter, more manoeuvrable vehicles like the light tanks, some of the tank destroyers and the infantry fighting vehicles skirmish their way across the middle of the map in order to get up, around and behind those main battle tanks, busy plinking away at each other in their hold down positions. Of course, all of the infantry fighting vehicles and tank destroyers in particular on both teams are fully aware of this, so they're watching the centre of the map, this airfield, like a hawk, waiting to see who's going to blink first. But it kind of looks like there's nobody covering the centre. So he's wasted enough time just sitting there waiting to counter the enemy team as they try to cross the middle, and he's going to do just that himself. Takes a quick pot shot at that M2 Bradley. Shot comes in from something up ahead, another one hits the building just to his left, but this thing is so small and fast, it's a nightmare trying to hit it. And he's made it without taking any damage. He's across the open ground and he can finally start putting this thing to work. Chintaro spotted up ahead, wheeled a tank destroyer, but he's around the corner and nope, much easier target. M1134. It's armed with twin anti-tank guided missile launchers. And, well, you have to guide them to the target. And if you're trying to guide them to a target the size of the Weasel that's moving as quickly as the Weasel, there you go. There's his two shots. He's just popped his smoke grenade. No, it's not going to happen. There's the enemy. Chintaro took a shot, missed, almost hit the M1134. He's about to reload, finishes him off, takes a hit. That was the Chintaro. Another M1134 up ahead. Starts ripping him apart with the autocannon. There's his second kill. Next, enemy Weasel. Much more dangerous target than a Challenger who's facing in the other direction. Kills the Weasel, slams the brakes on, stops, reloads and starts emptying his magazine right into the engine block of the Challenger. The Challenger, if you have a look up at the team list there in the top right corner of the screen, has disconnected. Oh, he's on fire. That's a shame. Taken out by what was probably a high explosive shell from the front. Wow. 5 enemy tanks left. You see what I mean about Ghostfield? Campers never prosper on this map. When the action kicks off on this match, it's over very, very, very quickly. And that does kind of favour the small, fast, manoeuvrable, rapid-firing machines like the Weasel, like the VBL, like the Fox, like the Crab, who just zip around farming up all the damage and all the kills as the main battle tanks struggle to... Oh, gee, wow, that's going to take a bit of polish to work the dents out of that one. So, yeah, Ghostfield. Weasel drivers love it. Challenger drivers, not so much. If you're in something as big and slow as a Challenger, your job is basically just to sit at one end of these roads taking hits for your team, while machines like Steel Titan 2's Weasel zip around the rear and flanks and kill everything for you. So, not particularly popular with the main battle tank drivers, for very, very good reasons, but when you're in a machine like this, oh hell yeah, look at that. That's just... one left, can he get the kill? One enemy tank left, so suddenly everybody turns into the seagulls from Finding Nemo. It's mine, 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 mine. You want it, you're going to have to fight for it. He's going to take a hit here from the Challenger 1, but then round the rear, finishes him off. 6 kills. And not only did he get 6 kills, he also spotted 11 of the 15 enemy vehicles and did over 7,000 damage to them. So a very, very impressive result there from Steel Titan 2 in the Tier 7 Weasel AWC. Next up, we're moving up to Tier 9. It's the Crab. This is Game Boy Boy in a Tier 9 standard battle on the Narrows map. I've just unlocked the Crab and I've played a couple of games in it, so I'm far from being an expert. But the one thing that I can tell you about the Crab is that I really, really don't like it. Now, before you get your knickers in a twist, it's not that I don't like it because it's a bad vehicle. It's definitely a good vehicle. As anybody who has had the misfortune of having one of these things roving up their backsides will tell you, this is a very, very dangerous little armoured fighting vehicle. My problem with the Crab is that it's a wheeled armoured fighting vehicle. It is ridiculously fast and it's ridiculously light, and that makes it incredibly hard to steer. And I just suck at driving it. It's a great machine, I'm just terrible in it. I mean, look at how easily this thing just gets knocked around the place. He's not even going particularly quickly here. But it's such a light vehicle with such springy suspension that just driving the thing without wrecking it is a challenge enough, without having to worry about other tanks shooting at you at the same time. And that's not a skill I've even come close to mastering yet. Oh, but Jingles the VBL's exactly the same and you love that. Well, yeah, but I've got a lot more experience in driving the VBL. I don't have a lot of experience in driving the Crab, but I'm sure it'll come. A couple of shots out there at the enemy Weasel, and then almost certainly got spotted, pulls back into cover. One of the major differences between the Crab and a machine like the VBL is that, well, when you're firing at something with a Crab, there's no 40 damage here, 50 damage there. The gun on this thing, look at this T90. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. Very, very, very quickly. Gamer Boy being a lot more cautious than the other Crab on his team, who's the one getting all of the spots so far, and he's just spotted an enemy Crab. Enemy Crab up there thinking, well, I can kill this guy if I get the first shot off, and then Gamer Boy pops up and there's no way he's getting out of that alive. So there's his first kill. And the friendly Crab didn't seem to take an awful lot of damage either. Gamer Boy, once again, the cautious one, pulls back in order to reload. The other Crab on the team doesn't even know how to spell caution. He's down there like a rat of a drain pipe, but at the same time, nobody fired at him from the other end of the road, so screw it, this is the chance we've been waiting for. Now you've got two options here. You can turn right and head for the enemy cap, or you can turn left and go hunting main battle tanks. Surprise butt sex appointment with a bunch of enemy MBTs beckons, and Gamer Boy goes for it. There we go. T90, Leopard 2, looking for the shot. The other Crab's obviously decided that there is strength in numbers and he's coming back here with him. I mean, who wants to cap at this early stage of a game anyway? Be very, very quiet. We're hunting main battle tanks. And there we go. Pair of T90s and a Leopard 2 A6. And here's that surprise butt sex you ordered as two Crabs open up with their autocannons at the unprotected rear armour of 3 main battle tanks. There goes one of the T90s. Enemy Crab's just been spotted up ahead, but they're concentrating on these MBTs. He's actually, well, he only had shots at that Crab. He's popping in and out of line of sight. But he's nailed one of the T90s. Surviving T90's just taken out an Ariete in front of him. There goes another T90, just the Leopard 2 A6 left. And look at the damage this guy's taking from the rear as these two Crabs just pile the shots into him. He's been spotted though. Oh! Leopard 2A6 hits his gun. And there's the Leopard 2A6 dead as well. Oh, that's just preposterous. How can you take a hit from a 120mm gun in something as lightly armoured as this and not take any damage? Well, he didn't actually hit the vehicle. He hit his gun barrel. So Gamer Boy now has to put up with a 35% penalty to his aiming time, but I'm pretty sure he can live with that. So, where did the enemy crab go? He was just... Hang on, what are you doing? Wait, whoa, no, back up. That's more like it. Yeah, you're going to have to take it a bit more narrow than that. That's the one, okay. And this is exactly where the enemy crab was. Clearly he's not going to stick around, as all of his main battle tank support just got obliterated. And he's not going to head north because, well, Gamer Boy is up here. And, oh, there he is, he's been spotted. He did the smart thing. He tried to extract to the south, but he's run into and been spotted by another M1A1. And now he's taken fire from Gamer Boy as well. And that M1A1 could have been in a lot of trouble with an enemy crab managing to get that close to him, but not with another crab hot on his heels. He can't afford to stop to take the time to kill that M1. He's got to try to get the hell out of there. Otherwise Gamer Boy's going to have him. So he makes himself scarce, and then, oh, there it is. That's exactly the sort of thing I'm talking about. You can't just blitz around the map at full speed off-road in this thing. It's too light, you hit a rock, and you never know which way the thing's going to end up pointing. Finds himself facing a T90MS. T90MS fires, hits the rock in front of him. He manages to find a spot towards the rear of the side of the tank where his shots will penetrate. T90's down. There's a bit of a friendly fire incident here as a friendly challenger accidentally kills a weasel, but he's very apologetic about it. It was obviously an accident. Gamer Boy doesn't have time to worry about friendly fire. He's looking for his 6th kill. He's got the rear of a Challenger 2 up here, but then he spots that T90 on very low health, and he stops just for a second to check that he's clear from a T90MS over to his left, which costs him the kill on the T90, which, well, okay, then we'll kill the Challenger 2 instead. So there's kill number 6. Now, about that T90. Now, he knows the T90 saw him, but the T90 also should know that he's only going to get one shot at a crab, so Gamer Boy waits. There goes a friendly Abrams, and he pounces, but the T90's waiting for him, and does over 800 damage with a high explosive anti-tank shell, but oh, here comes his nemesis. It's the other crab. He's chased him all the way around the map, and, well, he finally got to kill him, and now it's just the T90MS, and he's got his rear, and we're done. 8 kills. 8 kills. Not bad at all. Did you notice the comment, by the way, from a very salty enemy player right at the end of that match? Let me just get it for you. There he is. Clearly a European player who's slumming it on the North American server for a bit. North American players are so bad. How did you manage to lose the entire map? Maybe I'm missing something really obvious here, but when the objective of the game is to either capture the enemy flag or wipe out the entire enemy team, isn't it usual for one team to lose the entire map? I mean, it's that's how these games usually end. I don't understand why you're so surprised. Maybe it's just me. Anyway, let's take a look at Gamer Boy's results. 7,500 damage done to go with his 8 kills. This thing actually has over 10,000 damage per minute. Of course, with only 224mm of penetration, you're not going to be doing that kind of damage per minute against things like main battle tanks unless you can get around the sides and rear. But, well, providing you've actually learned how to steer this thing properly and keep it under control at high speed off-road, and also provided the rest of your team doesn't immediately suck out and all die at the beginning of the match, because, well, it doesn't take hits very well. You saw him take a direct hit from a T90MS firing a high explosive anti-tank shell, and he took over 800 damage. That's more than half of his health. So, yeah, you do need your team to at least be semi-competent and stay alive long enough for you to get into those outflanking positions. But if you can do that, well, 7,500 damage, 8 kills. So, I hope you enjoyed those 2 armoured fighting vehicle replays from Gamer Boy in the Crab and Steel Titan 2 in the Weasel. And, of course, Tier 10 tanks are on the horizon in Armoured Warfare. Obsidian have published a Tier 10 tank teaser trailer, and I've been inviting suggestions as to which one I should actually go for first on my Facebook page. But, well, you know it's going to be the British one. I mean, Well, I don't know, actually. I mean, alright, that's always been true in the past. I've always said, which one should I go for next? Then I just pick the British one. But, well, this time around they've got that Leopard 2A6 with a 140mm gun. That Sphinx armoured fighting vehicle looks really, really nice. And the PL-01 light tank, 120mm gun, and it's actually got enough armour to bounce some shots from the front. I don't know. Is it going to be superior German engineering? Am I going to stay true to my roots and pick the Challenger with a life extension package? I really, really don't know. So, well, yeah, cast your vote in the comments below. Which of the Tier 10 vehicles coming in Armoured Warfare should I focus on getting first? And that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. And as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.